The first street performance that I ever saw was a 2 KO knockout. Because, street performers, there's all sorts of gimmicks, and some of them are flipping over people and dancing and singing, and some of them are like standing completely still. I think I got this wrong the other day. The other day I was talking about mimes. Mimes. They got the face paint, they don't talk, but they create little. I apologize for this. I did it last time and it's still bad. Do you think they ever take that stuff home with them? Because they don't talk all day long, and then you think they get home, take the take their gear off or whatever, and then someone goes, "Hey Tim, I don't know, maybe the guy's name is Tim. How was your day?" And he says stuff, or do you think he mimes it all? That would also be really annoying. Imagine trying to argue with a mime. The next time I get into an argument with my girlfriend, I'm gonna try miming. It's gonna be a straight way to get myself kicked. But could you just imagine, there's somebody's talking at you and they're like, "Hey, well, and you didn't do this, and you could have done this, and you should do," and you're just sitting over here and you're like, "This is bad too, right?" Yeah. I just have my. But besides those guys, there's the people who just stand completely still. And I'm not talking about those guards in London. We went there once and I was really excited because you always see those videos of people messing with the guards, the ones that don't move, no facial expression, and no matter what tip, trick, or joke you try to pull on them, they do not move. And I kept joking around, sort of, that I was going to go and try and get a laugh or something. And everybody I said that to, all two of them, freaked out. They're like, "No, you can't. No, you can't, Nick. Don't really do that. You don't understand. You can't." And I actually looked it up, the old Google, and it's a crime. You're not even supposed to mess with those guys, which on the one hand kind of makes it more child. No, I didn't do it, but it could have been a lot of fun. I'm talking about those guys who are just straight, just a statue. And not don't move, and they just kind of sit there, and you kind of wonder, are they a statue or are they real? And this guy, the guy I was talking about in the beginning, he was one of those statue guys, but it was for Halloween. And we were headed out of I was a kid, we were headed out of Universal Studios, and they were setting up for horror nights. Ooh. And this guy was standing on the corner all in outfit and stuff. He wasn't just standing there, but he was all dressed up in his garb and things like that, and he was supposed to be standing there like a statue. And I don't know, and maybe these guys also, because there's got to be opportunities that you just can't pass up, right? Even though your job is to stay completely still, there's got to be those moments where it's like this. This would just be so sweet for some reason. You don't know why, but for some reason it'd be sweet. So he's standing there, and we're rushing to get out of there because if you've been around here at all, I'm a wuss, which means you think that bodes well for anybody else that is related to me. So we're walking out, and we had made a stop to kind of take a look at, oh, look, they're transitioning out from the to the horror. We really got to get out of here. And so my mom's back was turned to this guy who was just a statue, which completely, and once again, I've been fooled in real life and on television. This was a real person. So she didn't think anything of it. So we're having a conversation, and the guy just reaches up, touches her on the shoulder. She freaks out. I've never seen her move so quickly. It's like she had been coached in the gym, and this was her fight. I mean, she planted her feet, pivoted, and just swung and just caught this guy clean in the face, knocked him right on his feet. I mean, just TKO kaputs. And I thought, wow, okay, those are the reasons why you hesitate. You always wonder, oh, those are those sweet moments. And the reasons why a lot of people don't do it is because you don't want that happening to you. A sweet punch in the face. There's, it's not good times had by all. Now, then, I lived in California, so you go to the beaches of California, there are street performers all over the place. Really cool ones, and some you kind of have to and a tip that I learned. The really cool ones, if you ever see a crowd of people at a beach, it's usually because somebody is about to flip or jump over a lot of other people. I was so enamored one day. You went to the beach and there's a bunch of group of people like, oh look, there's something happening, because there's always a hype guy, and the hype guy is really like selling. He's like, watch this guy flip over not 3, 8, but 20 people. And you're like, what in the world is happening here? And he's like jumping around and running and dancing, and he's getting all enthused, and he's grabbing people from the crowd, and you're thinking, they can't jump. Oh, they're adding another one. Okay. And then on the one hand, it starts to become like you start fighting yourself or whether you want him to make it or not make it, because it just seems so absurd. You're like, okay, there's 10 people here. There's no way he can jump it. If he makes it, that'd be sweet. But if he dips it, this would be hilarious. Like, imagine if he hits like 5 of them and they all like domino effect all knock into, I mean, ouch, and I apologize, but a little bit you're kind of like interesting. But the other side is true. If he makes it, you're like, oh my, he just jumped over 10 people. And then last minute, it's always last minute because they've got you at the edge of your seats, that they add in another person. You're thinking, okay, well now it's impossible. And then they do it and everybody cheers. You're like, yeah. Those street performances, I'll sign up for those all day long. Not to be I don't want somebody jumping over me, because especially after what I just said before, the odds are not in my favor. Now, the tip that I learned, and the thing that you have to kind of want to look out for, is sometimes like there are street performers who have already done their performance and they put it onto a CD and they want you to have it for a small fee. I didn't know about the small fee part. When somebody's handing you a CD, you gotta be very careful, because the guy was like, oh, hey, this is my new music. Like, come check me out. And I thought he was being sincere. I was like, oh, cool, man. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna just like say no, get away from, like, I'll take a free CD and check it out. And I was walking away and he goes, hey, come back here. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, our exchange is done. I'll check out your CD. I'm out of here. He goes, no, that'll be $20. I'm like, for what? Like, no offense, but for what? Like, you handed it to me. And he's like, oh, for my CD. You think my music for free? And I was like, all right, I get it. You can't just, you're promoting yourself, but you're also trying to, create something. And it's not free to make music. All right, cool. And then I was like, well, unfortunately, I didn't want to, like, I would have checked it out for free. But now that we're having this weird exchange, definitely here's your CD back. But now before you get handed anything, there might be an unassociated. That's how they get you. Sometimes everybody wants their money up front. The way to do it is to give it with no idea that any money needs to be exchanged. I had a buddy once who we all went out to like dinner one night, and he like ordered 2 appetizers, 2 entrees. I mean, he was having the time of his life. You would have thought that he just got promoted, right? And he was just like, he was the life of the party. Great times. And at the end of it, when the check came, he was like, oh yeah, I don't have a wallet. We're like, what do you mean you have a wallet? Like, you ate more than all of us. You had more fun than anybody here. We thought you were having the greatest time ever. And he's like, yeah, no, I don't have a wallet. I thought you guys would take care of it. And we're like, that's why. Oh, I see how that works. So you got to be sometimes, and then other times it's all in the performance, I say. And but there's performance, but there's also time and place, right? Like, I was in we were in Mexico one time, and there was a stoplight, and as soon as the light turned red, this guy runs out with a ladder, and you're thinking, this guy's gonna do the quickest light bulb change I've ever seen in my entire life. No. Or he's going to start throwing sticks of fire in the air, which is exactly what he started doing on top of a ladder in the middle of the street during a stoplight. And I'm thinking, well, if there's any way to pass the time, because if you've ever been in California, you do not like stoplights. I mean, stoplights can either feel like 10 seconds or a decade. All right. Like you could lose hair by the time the light turns green. It feels like an eternity sometimes. And so this guy just runs out, starts throwing fire, and you're thinking, whoa, cool. This is a cool way to pass the time. But then the light turns green and we go. And then my immediate thought was, well, wait a minute. How does he get his tips? Because I'm in a car, I'm in a bus, and he's in the middle of the street throwing fire at a limited time window. So I don't really know how, the performance, great show. I was very enthralled. You got a whole bunch of aspects. Is he going to make it between the light? What's with the ladder? Was he going to fix the light? Even if that would have been honestly exciting. If he ran out with a ladder, changed one of the light bulbs on the light in the time it took from the light to go from red back to green, I would have been like, all right, that was pretty impressive. And I guess that's the way things are done. But he ran out there with a ladder and started throwing fire. And I was like, all right, well, this is cool. But how does he get his? You know what I mean? Because a different time, I'm in San Francisco. And this guy, I really have to give it to this guy because he would hide behind a bush. Like he had a giant bush, right? And you would like hide in front of, like he would hide behind it, like on the street, right? And then you'd kind of just be walking about your day. He'd jump out behind the bush, go boo, and scare you, and then expect to be paid for it. Like it was kind of he went, boo. All right, well, I entertained you. So money, please. It's like, wait a minute. Oh, what? What is this? I like, instead of just like, doing a thing and then like seeing what happens, right? Like these people are like, no, I put on a show. I did something for you, even though you didn't ask for it. And trust me, with the whole scare thing, I definitely didn't want it. And now you're just like, all right, pay up. Like this is mine, right? Like this is what I do now. And I was thinking, all right, well, no, because that was terrifying. But I just thought, and then you're just hiding behind a bush. And I mean, I guess you got to make anything you can work. Like you got to just use whatever's like, if you got nothing, you better start dancing. Like at least I guess that's what was so like, interesting to me are the ones that like take something and they really, they try and turn it into something, even something that seems like nothing. I mean, the guy literally went and found a bush, hid behind it, jumps out or just moves it out of his hands, right? And just goes boo. And then the audacity to then turn around and go, all right, well, I mean, that was an exchange of services, so time to pay up. Like, I mean, could you... I could not imagine being like, all right, something I said might have made you laugh, so no, I'm just kidding. Well, anyways, street performances, it's a lot of fun, and they're all over the place, and they can be so interesting and fascinating. And sometimes, instead of changing a light bulb, you get fire. And how cool is that? And with that, I'm gonna get out of here. So later. Bye-bye. Until next time.